So come onto your back. You can let your feet drop out to the side. Your arms can rest by your sides or on your belly. The back of your head can connect to the earth. And just breathe here. Allow your breath to slow and deepen. Do a body scan. Notice how you're feeling in your physical body, your energetic and your emotional bodies. Because they are all connected, which is what we'll start with today. The idea will be to do some releasing of our psoas muscle. So it's this muscle that's a hip flexor. It actually allows your hip to flex, to extend, abduct, adduct, and even rotate. It helps a lot with the movement, but also helps with stabilization. And the thing about it is it connects from our lumbar spine all the way to the top of our thigh bone. So it goes between two joints, and within it is a bundle of nerves. So that's why it could affect us emotionally. It could be tied in with the fight or flight response. And also, what else do I want to say about it? It's where its attachment is in the lumbar areas is like right, almost, it's right in line with the diaphragm. So breathing could be affected by it too. So especially, as I said, it's been a little bit of a contentious time in our country. We might have a little anxiety around it. So this muscle also will help us to relax and calm our nervous system. So with all that being said, that's what we'll start to focus on. We'll start to move slowly so we can, again, calm the nervous system. And then we'll do some things that are strengthening and stretching for this muscle, because it does become shortened and weakened if you sit a lot, or even sometimes if you do a lot of exercise like running and cycling, those kinds of things where it's in contraction, it could become shorter and it might need to stretch. But from an energetic standpoint, it often just needs to unlock and release. So we'll do some gentle exercises to start and release that muscle and calm our nervous system. So with that in mind, take another breath or two here. And then if your feet are dropped out to the side, draw your toes up towards the sky. So you're in your Supta Tadasana. And then with just one leg at a time, and actually you can let the other leg relax, don't worry about that. But with one leg, let's start with our right leg like we often do. Dorsiflex the foot so the toes go up to the sky, and then plantar flex the foot. And just start to get a little stretching in that whole leg, but of course in the psoas muscle, this deep core muscle. If you're having a little trouble moving your heel on your sticky mat, you could put a little blanket under there if the heel is getting resistance from your sticky. Put a mat towel or blanket on top of your mat. So just about one more time. And then pause and notice. And do the other side. So you can let the right leg relax, even if that means that foot drops out. The left toe comes, or the left leg comes into Tadasana leg, foot dorsiflexed, and then plantar flexed. And go back and forth like that. And continue to breathe. Our breath is another way to control, our stress response. So allow it to breathe, nice and easy. And then one more round, and then bring that movement to stillness. Let your foot drop out, and notice. Good. All right. So we can bring our legs back into Tadasana. Let's take a little side stretch first. So let's bring our hands into a crunch position behind your head. So it'll be our Ardha Chandrasana, but just a little different. And so you could move your legs a little bit to the right, but you don't have to. You could just start with the upper body. And so keeping the legs like more or less in Tadasana. I even brought my legs together so I have a little bit more of leverage for this, a little more stability. I'm going to lift my chest and bring it over to the right. So I'm bringing my right elbow down towards my hip and my left elbow to sky. And I'm keeping my shoulder blades grounded. I'm looking up, but you might even want to look over at your left elbow and breathe here and feel this deep stretch. This is pretty deep for me, on your whole left side body. And breathe there. So just stay, even if it's a little deep, just see if you can breathe with it. If you need to back off, of course, back off. I mean, the best way sometimes to release this muscle is just with some gentle movement, not a lot of super strong movements. You know, not a lot of deep tissue massage, just some gentle, easy movements, deep breathing, awareness. Say one more full breath. Big inhale and exhale back to center. And then you can bring your torso back to center and pause and notice. Oh yeah. One side may feel a little longer. And then the other side. So again, keeping our legs where they are in Tadasana legs. You can lift your chest. You may have to like pick up your shoulder blades and scooch your upper body over to the left. As the left elbow kind of starts to point down towards the left hip, right elbow up behind you. Again, you might want to rotate your neck so we get some movement in our neck as well, and look towards your right elbow. And breathe into the whole right side body. Take one more breath here. And then come back to center. Pause and notice. And then release your arms by your sides. Take another breath or two. So maybe that helped to kind of unlock that, create some space between the psoas and the diaphragm, or maybe you became more aware of that connection and how it affects your breath. I don't know, just notice whatever you felt. And then bend your knees, plant your feet on the earth, and we'll do some sort of pelvic tilts to, again, stretch that out and, create more space. We may even move this sequence as the week progresses into a little bit more extension to kind of create some more space between that diaphragm psoas connection. So with your arms by your sides or on your belly or hip points, inhale, tilt your tailbone toward the earth, pelvis forward, arch the lower back, kind of take your extension, like your cow or dog tilt, and then exhale, tilt the tailbone to the sky, press your lower back into the earth. And keep going like that with your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. So this is really helpful. This sort of pelvic rocking. So this in itself, this kind of rocking could be calming to the nervous system. And work with your breath. Like allow this to movement in synchronicity with the breath. This rocking movement could be very pacifying. Okay, one more round. Then we're going to do it a couple more ways. We're going to keep going with the rocking, but we'll bring our hands into a crunch position once again. Again, don't pull on your neck. We're just lifting. Inhale here, arching, and then exhale as you press the low back down. Lift your head and shoulders and take a crunch. You could even bring your elbows together if you want. But feel we start to work the deep core muscles. And then inhale, extend, lowering head and elbows. And then exhale, peel up. Inhale and exhale. Now keep going like that a few times. Because of all the functionality and where it connects in the body, that psoas muscle is a deep, or those psoas muscles, there's a group of 3, but on each side, but it is a deep core muscle. So see if we can feel that we're strengthening it and activating it here. And if you want, for our next couple of rounds, you could even take a little twisting motion as you lift up and press your low back down. You can sort of twist over to the left, and then you can come back as you arch, and then lift and twist over to the right. And 1 or 2 more. And then slowly lower back down. You can release your arms, take a pause, and then let's let our knees drop out so we can bring our feet together and knees out to the side in the Supta Baddha Konasana. So of those 3 muscles, the psoas major, the bigger one that we kind of know about that I talked about, there's a little minor one too, which it's small. It sometimes could even be confused with the groin. So know that sometimes it's the psoas muscle, not the groin, that we might be stretching. And then there's another one that kind of goes to the inside of the pelvis. It's kind of like under the other muscles. It's right to the inside of the pelvis. So a lot of, so these muscles are really key to, stabilizing our pelvis and helping us just walk around, move in space, balance, standing upright. Just a lot of stabilization of our pelvis. So it's nice to allow that release. Notice how that feels. Sometimes it's hard to see, if it's the psoas that's getting the stretch here, or the groins. It's hard to kind of sometimes tell, and so that's why we need to be careful. And now let's do that rocking 1 more round like this. So bring your hands behind your head. Inhale, arch as you, increase your, the curve in the lumbar spine. Draw the elbows down. Tilt up, pelvis forward, and then exhale, press up and lift. You can bring your elbows together or not. Just use a lift. Inhaling, lowering, exhale, lift. And feel that we're really engaging the core again. So we are working our rectus abdominis, the upper abdominals here as well, the transverse. Getting into the psoas, whole abdominal wall. And how about a couple more? And last time. And maybe hold it here. Hold, hold, hold. And then slowly lower down. You can release your arms. You can then even use your hands to close your knees and pause here. Or maybe you can go in the opposite direction if it feels nice to let your knees drop together and walk your feet out a tiny bit. All right, 1 more strengthener. So we're doing our core work right here in the beginning. So All right, so what will happen is we will draw your right leg in, so it's at a 90-degree angle, like a half table, and extend your left leg out. You keep both feet dorsiflexed. With your right hand, hold the right hamstring, so you get a nice support there. And then bring your head in, your left arm into that half crunch position. Inhale here. You can arch the spine or just keep it neutral. And then exhale, press your low back into the earth, lift up into that crunch. And see if you can extend your right arm. So you feel like there's some isometric resistance. You're drawing your low belly down. And if you want, you could even lift up the left leg and extend through that leg. And keep pressing the low belly down, working the core. And then lower your left leg, lower your torso. A couple more times like that. Peeling up. You can lift the leg or not, and lower down. And again, peel up, lifting head and shoulders, maybe lifting the leg, keeping the right arm in extension so that you've got some isometric resistance. Last time, lower down. Peel up, head and shoulders, maybe lift the left leg. And then if you want, you could even extend your left arm, and then you could extend your right leg and take your low Navasana. Your Ardha Navasana. And then lower your legs, lower your torso, extend your arms overhead in line with your ears. Take a big stretch. Breathe here, reaching your feet away. I'm even reaching one leg, then the other leg, getting a big stretch on each side. Feeling the whole stretch in my belly, the skin of my belly, the abdominal wall, and release. Maybe it feels really like super relaxing after we've completed that. So notice. All right. So now we'll go to the other side. You can leave the right leg where it is, and you can bring your left leg in. Hold on to the left hamstring. Right hand behind the head. Okay, keep your left arm extended. Inhale here, maybe arch as you exhale and press low back into the earth, lift up, maybe hover your right leg. Take a breath or two here, really pressing the low belly down. And then lower your leg, lower your torso. 3 more times like that. Peel up. And then lower down. And then peel up. And lower down. I lost count 1 more time or 2 more times. And lower down. Let's do 1 more time just in case. And then peel up, press lower back down, extending through the right leg. Good, good, good. Breathe. Now you can hover here and extend your right arm. You could extend your left leg. And breathe here, a couple of breaths in your low Navasana, pressing low back down, activating through your legs. And then lower your legs, lower your torso. Send your arms overhead, big stretch in the whole belly. Good. Reach here. Nice. And now from here, we can just roll over onto our bellies. Let's go into our Cobra. So now that your arms are extended, you can just kind of do a little log roll and go all the way onto your belly. And then come into Crocodile for a moment. So you'll bend your elbows so that your forearms stack on top of each other or your hands stack, and you can let your forehead rest on your hands. Curl your toes under, and then maybe even keep your feet in dorsiflexion. And legs can be about hips distance or a little wider. And then you can lower the knees down and then extend through the heels, lift the thighs. And then lower the legs. Extend through the heels, lift the thighs, engaging quads, engaging glutes, hamstrings. We're activating our legs here. A couple more times like that. Good. This next time, maybe you can press the earth away with your toes and extend your toes and plant the tops of the feet on the earth. That could be a little tricky on the sticky mat as well. Maybe on Thursday we'll put a blanket down first for that. Then pause here and notice how you're feeling. We're going to move into our cobra. This to do more extension. This is a little extension. You could even bring your arms a little bit farther in to get more of an extension. But now let's bring our legs toward hip distance. So you might have to bring them a little closer. Planting the tops of your feet down. Release your hands under your shoulders so elbows drop back a little bit. And lengthen through the sides of your neck. Inhale here, we can lower down a little bit more. Exhale completely. And then the next inhale, let's rise up, lifting our heart, looping the shoulders down the back, lengthening from crown of head to toes. I'm even activating my legs, so I'm lifting my thighs a little bit. And then exhale, lower down a couple of times like that, little cobra vinyasa. Looping the shoulders as you rise up, breathing across your collarbones and lower down. Inhale and exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. Last time, maybe go a little bit to a fuller expression if you can. So go up to your fullest expression. If you want to bring your arms towards straighter, if that feels okay, you can do that. Loop the shoulders down the back. Breathe across your collarbones. Take one more breath. And then slowly lower down. Let's press up through hands and knees and sit back into a child's pose. You can keep your legs together or apart and just settle here. Hands or a block underneath your head for support. And breathe into your low back and notice how you're feeling now. So just take a couple of more breaths here. And then from here, we'll rise up into our tabletop posture. Send your hands a little forward of your shoulders and then curl your toes under and let's rise up to downward facing dog. You can keep your knees bent if you like. You can pedal your feet, but make sure you're grounding through your arms, lifting your hips to the sky, bringing your ears, your head and your ears in between your arms, like in the middle of your biceps. So let's get some nice length in our torso. And breathe here, toning the belly. Good, lifting hip points. You can shake your head yes or no. You can pedal your feet again. Take one more breath or two. Maybe bringing your legs towards straighter. Getting nice stretch in the quads, the hamstrings, the calves. And then look up toward your hands. And let's walk, step, or you can even hop if you're feeling a hop, but kind of not a hopping practice. Come into your Uttanasana. Rise up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Soften the knees until your belly's on your thighs. Lift your chest and your arms. Rise all the way up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. And then arms by your sides, Samastitihi. And notice how we're feeling now. So we'll do a few half sun salutations and then we'll take it to our lunges. So if you'd like to use a block for your lunges today, you could have that handy. I'll just put them here just in case. Okay, so starting in our Tadasana, grounding feet, engaging the muscles of the legs. Finding a neutral pelvis. Looping the shoulders up, back, and down. And lengthening through the head, keeping the chin parallel. So the neck stays long. We don't overly exaggerate the curve in our back of our neck. And here we go. You can take an inhale, big sun breath. You can take a little elongation, or take elongation, but you can take extension if you like. And then exhale, hands through prayer or swan dive. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Rise up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. And then bend your knees, belly on your thighs. Use strong legs to rise back up. Find length. Hands to prayer. Samastitihi. 2 more times like that. Big inhale. Elongate, maybe extend. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Rise up halfway. Create more length. Take that length back into your fold. And then come into sort of your Utkatasana squat. Using strong legs to rise you up. And come to standing. Last time here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Squatting down. Rising up. Samastitihi. Okay. Now we'll add a lunge on each side. So inhale, elongate, maybe extend. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Send your left leg back. You can kind of send it through a standing split if you like, lowering it down. Good. Pause in your low lunge. You can lift your heart, get long from crown of head to left heel. And then just step that left leg forward again, back into your fold. Rise up halfway. Exhale, fold again, squatting down, rise all the way up. Arms by your sides. Inhale, elongate and extend. Fold. Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Right leg goes back. Bend the left knee. Square your hips. Find a little space between belly and thigh. Activate your back leg. Weight into left foot as your right leg steps forward again. Into your fold. Half lift and fold. Utkatasana to rise you up. Hands to prayer and prayer to your heart. All right, this next time we'll stay in our lunge and we'll do a knee down lunge. Inhale, rising up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold left leg back. Find your low lunge for a moment. And then when you're ready, you can lower that knee down. Good. We'll take an Anjaneyasana sequence here a little bit. So you can walk your right leg forward if you like, but make sure that knee is over the ankle. Inhale, lift your heart here, looping the shoulders down the back. Exhale, bring that leg towards straighter as you send your hip back towards your left heel. And go back and forth like that a couple of times. Feel free to use your blocks if you like. Inhale and exhale. Maybe lifting the toes. One more round. Exhale and hold here, lifting the toes to the sky. Squaring hips. Lift your torso, get long, maybe melting your heart over that leg, drawing your head towards your toes. And then come on back up, bending the knee. And this time we'll rise all the way up to our knee down warrior one. Good, maybe even coming a little farther forward with your hips. So you're getting a stretch in the front of your left thigh, the quadricep, the psoas muscle. And then we'll take a twist. So you can just start to rotate to the right, lower left hand onto the right knee, and the right hand could come onto your hip or reach back towards your left hamstring. Up to you. And breathe. Keep lengthening, spinning your heart more to the right. Maybe looking over your right shoulder, back behind you. And then let's de-rotate as we send our arms back up to the sky, and then lower them down to the inside of the right leg. We'll take a little bit of a lizard lunge here. So you can start to Melt your chest to the inside of the leg, taking care not to let that knee drop out to the side. You can kind of hug it in towards your shoulders. And breathe. Maybe you can come onto your forearms, or maybe you want to put a block underneath the one forearm. Take one more breath here. And then we will rise up. Bring the right knee back to meet the left. We are in our modified, it can be in a modified plank here, or you can lift your legs into your full plank, lengthening from crown of head to heel. And then we'll slowly go forward with the chest, bend the elbows back, hugging the rib cage, lower down. Rise up into your cobra or your upward facing dog. Press back through hands and knees, or roll over toes, downward facing dog. And breathe here again, another down dog. Maybe 3 more breaths. Big inhale. Inhaling from your hands, your rooted hands, all the way up to your sits bones. Exhale from your sits bones out through your heels. Full body breathing like that. One more breath or two. Look up towards your hands. Walk, step, or hop your feet towards your hands. Uttanasana. Rise up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. And then rise all the way up to standing Samastiti. Other side. Big inhale. Exhale and fold. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold into Uttanasana. Right leg goes back. Good. Find your low lunge for a moment. And then lower that right knee down. Adjust the left leg. Make sure knee is over ankle. Inhale, dropping hips, lifting heart, looping shoulders down the back. Exhale, straightening the leg, head to knee. Inhale, come forward a couple more times like this. Low lunge to our half split. And last time. And hold it here. Again, squaring the hips, maybe even lifting your heart a little bit so you can tone your belly, get more length with your torso, and then fold over that extended leg, drawing your head, the crown of your head towards your toes. So we cultivate length. We fold with our heart, with compassion, not pushing, just allowing for some nice stretching and strengthening, not activating that stress response, the fight or flight response. And then come on up. The other thing is the vagus nerve, this nerve that also affects, and let's rise up, knee down, warrior one, runs from the crown of our head to our sacrum. So that's another, another reason that when these muscles get tight, it could affect, all sorts of things from energetic to physical. And then let's add our twist to the left. So you can start to rotate from your belly, from your rib cage, lower right hand to left knee, left hand onto the hip. Maybe like I said, the right hamstring, lifting your heart. Lengthening through the crown of your head, maybe rotating your gaze over the left shoulder. One more breath or two here. And then slowly unwind. You can send your arms back up to the sky, get long, and then exhale, lower both hands to the inside of the left foot, keeping the left arm and leg connected. Start to soften the elbows and melt your torso to the inside of that leg. Let's see how that feels. Make any adjustments, add blocks. Go on to forearms or not, or somewhere in the middle. Keep hugging the left knee in, breathing with whatever you're feeling, or modifying. Right. One more breath or two. Rising back up into our lizard lunge, sending the left knee back to meet the right, modified or full plank, cobra or chaturanga first, and then our cobra or our up dog, and down dog last time. And breathe here, 3 to 5 breaths. Grounding hands, head between your arms so the shoulder blades can move down the back. There's a lot of space in the neck. Lifting hips to sky and breathing deep. And then grounding through your legs. Feel the same activation with our legs as in Tadasana. Quads engage, hamstrings press back. One more breath here. And then let's look up toward our hands. Walk, step, or hop our feet to our hands. Uttanasana. Rise up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Squatting down into our Utkatasana, using strong legs to rise us up. Urdhva Hastasana. Samastitihi. And breathe. And notice how you're feeling now. Good job. So from here, let's just step right out into our standing poses, which we'll go into triangle. Actually, in fact, if you want to just turn to the long side of your mat, take a big step out, finding our sort of prasarita. And then turn the right leg out into 90 degrees. Left foot could face forward or turn in. Good, and feel that grounding of both legs, the lifting of the pelvic floor, tone of the belly. Lift arms to shoulder height. Tuck your right hip under. Reach forward with your right arm and rib cage. Lower that arm down. Left arm to sky. Keep lengthening from your hip to the crown of your head. Spinning your heart open. Reaching down with the right arm as you reach up with left. And if we're getting nice length in our neck, so notice how you're feeling in your neck. Draw the head back. See if you can get rotation. Maybe you can look down at your right foot and then look up towards your left hand. Let me try that one more time. Inhale, looking down at the right foot. Exhale, look up at the right hand. Nice. And then engage your legs. Tone your belly. Rise back up to the starting position. Lower the left hand to the left hamstring. Right arm to sky. Reverse the triangle. Get a nice stretch on the whole right side body. You can inhale, looking up at the right hand. Exhale, look down at your left foot. Ooh. Inhale, look up one more time. Exhale, looking down. And then inhale, rise back up to the starting position and bend our knee into warrior two. Widening your stance if you like, making sure the knee is over the center of the ankle. Good, and breathe here. Taking one more breath, settling in. And then let's take a side angle. So we'll go forward with our right arm. You can have your forearm on the thigh, hand on the block or the earth, left arm to sky. Good, and breathe here. Lengthen from crown of head to back heel, spinning your heart open. Maybe sending that arm forward and overhead in line with your ear, looking up at the right hand, or sorry, the left hand. Good. And keep lifting that back leg. So we're getting a nice stretch in that psoas muscle of the left leg as you ground the pinky toe side of your left foot. Take one more breath. And rather than coming up, let's windmill the left hand down to the earth. So both hands are to the inside of the right leg. Walk our hands to the midline. Pivot your feet to face that long side of your mat. Toes in, heels out slightly. Keep your hips in line with your ankles. Walk your hands forward. Plant the hands down. Press your hands down. Send your hips to your sky. Ears between your biceps again. Wide-legged downward facing dog. And breathe here. Keep grounding and lifting. So we're getting nice length through the side body. Maybe a little space between the diaphragm and the psoas. Taking one more breath. Okay. And let's walk our hands in. Walk your hands in so they're underneath your shoulders. You can start to walk them out to the sides. Maybe they can reach the outsides of your feet. So you can, how far you can walk your hands out to the side and bring the crown of your head towards the earth. So we're taking a little bit of an inversion now, even more than in our dog pose. Lifting hips to sky, folding our body in half. If it feels more stable, you can always take one of your blocks and bring it underneath your head so your head has something to rest on. And then you can reach out with your arms. Take one more breath. Good. And then let's walk our hands in so they're underneath our shoulders. You can heel toe your feet in if you need to, but let's try to come up maybe with in our wide-legged stance. But if you want to bring your legs together, totally fine. Lift up halfway, whether your legs are together or still apart. Maybe bring hands on hips or out like a T and rise up to standing. So we're ready for the other side. Turn left toes out, right toes at 90 or turned in. Tone your belly, broad across collarbone. Tuck that left hip under. Lower your torso down, tuck your left hip under. Lengthen your torso. When you can't go anymore, just extend your left arm down, right arm to sky. Just want to remind us, it doesn't matter how far we go down into our triangle. We want to make sure we keep lengthening the body. We don't want to kind of round the spine. Keep that torso long. So don't worry about how far you go. And then keep the arms straight in line with the shoulder. And breathe here. Inhale, looking down at your left foot. Exhale, look up at your right hand. One more time. Inhale, look down at your left foot. Exhale, look up to the right hand. One more breath as you ground into your right leg, or both legs. Tone belly, rise up to standing. Lower right arm to right hamstring, left arm to sky, and reverse the triangle. Big stretch on that whole left side body. Inhale, look down at your right foot. Exhale, look up at your hand. Inhale, looking down. Exhale, looking up. Next, inhale, let's rise up to the starting position and bend the knee and sink into warrior two on this side. Good, and breathe here. Good. Activate your arms, relaxing shoulders, toning belly. Really ground that pinky toe side of your foot. And then we'll hinge forward into our Parsvottanasana. Whatever that is for us on this side. Good. Maybe sweep the arm over in line with your ear. And then maybe rotating your gaze. Taking one more breath or two here. And then with our strong core, strong legs, let's windmill our arms back up to the starting position, back through our warrior two, straightening our legs, hands onto hips, back into our wide-legged stance. You can heel toe, step, or hop your feet back to standing. And here we are. And take a few moments to notice how you're feeling now. So getting a little quadricep, psoas stretch, and maybe turning it into dancer for our balance pose today, for another Rajasana. So you can go to your wall if you want to have a little wall handy or chair. Standing on the left leg, picking up the right. So you can really feel grounded through both legs. As you pick up your right leg, let hand glide down the thigh, knee, shin, and ankle, and draw your leg back. See if you can get your thighs together. So that knee points down. The left hand could be on the hip, on a prop, or up to the sky. And breathe here, feeling this deep stretch. And notice where you feel it. Like maybe, we might feel it more overwhelmingly in the quadricep, but we are getting this nice stretch in the psoas muscle. When we do take this little extension that we take in Nadarasana, we're going to get a little bit of a stretch between, like I said, that diaphragm psoas connection as we take the extension. So that might feel interesting to notice. So we'll do that on the second round. So take one more breath and then slowly release. Okay. And we'll try that on the other side, just a little prep. Pick up the left leg, hands glide down the leg. Oops, thighs together. And keep the knees aligned. Let me check it out, see how that's working. Good. And then the right hand could be onto the hip or up to the sky, and breathe here. And then slowly release. And we'll try that again on the other side. So you can just do that prep pose if that felt like enough of a stretch, or you could deepen it by both hands clasping the foot or taking our Natajirasana, the dancer pose. So I'll go through the side to demonstrate that. So for starters, just pick up that leg. You can hold on to the ankle, with foot dorsiflex if you like, or you can bring externally rotate your shoulder so you can hold on to the inside of your foot and let the thumb even connect with the sole of the foot. So wherever you ended up, start to, start initially with the knee pointing down, but then draw the thigh back. Press the ball of the foot up towards the sky and press the shin, kick the shin back. So you'll still feel a nice stretch in your shoulder. And then as your belly kind of drops, the rib cage, the turn happens like sort of at the rib cage. So that's where it gets that separation between the psoas and the diaphragm. So we come into this extension, this little back bend. And you could hold on to something, or you could just have your arm out in Arjuna Mudra. And breathe here. Strong standing leg. Keep lifting the thigh, kicking the shin back. Lifting your heart. One more breath here. And then slowly release. And if that was a lot, even in the psoas muscle, one of the things that's really great for this muscle is just to swing your leg. We shake it out, just leg swings, just letting this muscle release. You can even do it on, a stair or on your block so that the leg can truly hang. That feels good. You might find this is a really great stretch, just letting that muscle release. You're probably like, why didn't we do this as a warm-up? No, it's a good one. All right, so let's try our Natajirasana on the other side. All right, so right leg grounds, pick up that left leg, holding the top of the foot or the inside of the foot, thighs together, right hand on the prop or on your hip. As you draw your thigh back, kick your shin back. Lift the ball of the foot to the sky. Here, I'll turn sideways. And then again, our belly drops, but our heart lifts. Get a nice stretch through the chest, into your shoulder. And breathe. Keep lifting the thigh, kicking the shin back. Lifting your heart. Effortless effort, right? Don't worry. One more breath here. And then you can slowly release. Maybe shake that leg out. Or maybe the standing leg needs to be shaken out. Feels good, right? Nice work. So let's settle back down onto our mat. If you want to sit up on a little prop, where we'll do a couple of seated postures. A little rotation, side bending, just more good stretches. So starting in our Dandasana. Bend your right knee and plant the foot on the earth. All right, and then you can send your left leg a little bit to the left. Good. And then you can bring your right arm to the inside of the right leg. And we're going to take a twist here. So you can take it in sort of like your Devasana arm. You can just keep it on the earth. Doesn't matter. Lift, ground both sits bones. Lift your torso and then start to rotate to your left. So sort of an open chain twist. We usually do closed, but it's nice to open everything up. So you can have your left hand on a block. If you tend to lean back, then, you know, sit yourself up. Sit up on a little blanket and maybe have your hand on a block. Try to keep that right sit bone's going to want to lift off. I feel mine picking up. I'm going to ground it down. So I'm lifting my heart, looking to the left, maybe, you know, more over my left shoulder, and breathe here. Take one more breath. And then let's unwind. Yes, that feels good. And then we'll go to the other side. So back to our Dandasana. You can even take a moment here in your Dandasana, and then bend the left knee, plant the foot on the earth, send the right leg out a little bit. Left hand to the inside of the left leg. We use this leverage to rotate to the right. And breathe. Take one more breath. And then unwind. Bring that leg out. Dandasana for a moment. Even grounding through your hands, lifting your heart, squeezing shoulder blades together for a Dandasana back bend. And then come back through center. Open up your legs for Uttanasana Konasana, that wide-legged stance. And I always, you know, have my hands up on my hips on tented fingers so I can lift myself up and maybe get more of a stretch between my legs. But, you know, be kind to the knees. Maybe don't take as wide of a spread if you're feeling at your knees, or prop underneath them. Keep your feet dorsiflex, toes facing upward, and maybe even turning in toward you. Both sits bones grounded. Good, and breathe. There we go. And now we're gonna take a little side bend. So just from here, we can go to the right. You can let your right arm glide down that right leg. Or actually, you know what? We're gonna do it this way. We're going to, let's lift up and rotate first. Yeah, let's get long, let's stay long. So on tented fingers, hands on either side of your right leg. Get long, find length. Rotate your navel towards that foot. Then send your left arm to the sky. And then we'll reach forward, keeping that left sit bone grounded. I feel mine wants to reach up, lift up already. Keep it grounded. Reach that left hand to the right leg. So maybe you're gonna touch the thigh, your calf. Maybe you can, some of us might be able to grab the pinky toe side of our foot. So wherever you are, keep your left sit bone grounded and feel this nice stretch, kind of like we did in the beginning when we did our Supta Ardha Chandrasana, when we had the elbow up to the sky. So I'm feeling a similar stretch from my shoulder, you know, through my side body. And you can reach back with your right arm. Keep grounding the left sit bone. Breathing here. Noticing our diaphragmatic psoas connection. Take one more breath. And then yogis, you can windmill back up. Ooh, yes. So seated. Make any adjustments. And then hands frame the left foot as we begin our rotation to the left. Okay. So both sits bones ground. Right arm comes up to the sky. We get more length on that right side. We start to hinge over the left leg. Reroot our right sit bone because it comes off immediately for me. I don't know about you guys. And then hold on to your left leg somewhere. You know, the thigh, the calf, the ankle, the pinky toe side of the foot. Reroot that right sit bone. It's a practice. Keep rerouting it, lengthening your torso, and breathing here into this rotation or this side bend. Maybe even reach that left arm away. Take one more breath. And then let's windmill all the way back to center. Ooh, yes. We can take a little extension here. Keep your legs wide. Come onto tented fingers. Lift your heart, lift your gaze. Take a little seated extension here. And then come back to neutral. Let's bend our knees and bring our feet together. Baddha Konasana again. So we did this on our backs. Now we're doing it seated. See if you can get the heels to really ground together. Pinky toe sides of feet as well. Get hold onto ankles or shins. Keep sits bones grounded as you lengthen through the crown of the head, hinging forward from your hips, leading with your heart. If you want, you can hold on to the tops of your feet, letting thumbs wrap around the big toe mounds. Elbows hug in, again, going forward with your heart. Take one more breath here. And then let's lift up. Take hold of the outside of our knees. Bring our knees together. Pivot onto your mat. We're just going to finish with one more thing to release, take a little twist. So let's roll down onto our backs. You can keep both knees bent for a moment. Good. And then extend your left leg. Extend your left leg. You can bring your arms by your sides. And then the right foot wants to stay grounded. The whole foot as much as you can. And then let that leg drop over to the left. You can even let the hip lift, but keep your foot grounded. And then come back down. You can do this a few times. I'm just releasing some of that work that we did. Big stretch here. So just do your best to keep the inside and the outside of the foot grounded as you press your hip up. And now let's add some arms. So let's start with, it doesn't matter, we're going to do both sides. You can extend your right arm by your ear as you do this and notice how this feels. Deep stretch on the right side. One more. Then you can switch arms, but keep your right leg bent. Noticing how this feels as you get the stretch on the left side of the body. One or two more. And then pause. You can draw that leg in, give it a squeeze. As your left leg grounds down, and then release the right leg onto the earth. And notice how that right side feels. Now we'll bend our left leg. Right leg comes to Tadasana. Keep the sole of that left foot on the earth as you press the left hip over to the right. And back down. Doesn't matter what your arms do yet. We'll take that arm position in a moment. So kind of coming back to our rocking. And if you like, you can extend your left arm in line with your ear. And a couple more like that. Keeping that foot grounded, every part of the foot. And now maybe switch arms, but keep the left leg bent. Last time or so. And then pause. Sweep your right arm around, both arms pull that left leg in for Apanasana. Just give it a squeeze. And then release your left leg onto the earth as well, letting both legs drop out to the side. Maybe bring your hands on your hip points, ground each half of your pelvis, and then release your arms by your sides, palms up to the sky. Take a big inhale and notice how you're feeling now. Maybe ground the back of your skull. You can even shake your head from side to side. And then bring that movement to stillness, really rooting the back of your head so your neck stays neutral. Oh, maybe take a yawn. Wriggle your jaw. Release the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Let your tongue drop back. Your eyes settle. Take another big inhale as you exhale and soften your chest, your belly, releasing your sacrum, your hips, your legs, your arms. And just relax everything here. Surrendering now to the support of the earth. Hopefully we unwound any tension in the body, calmed the nervous system, and did some nice stretching and strengthening. So now that we can just relax, just be. Take one more big inhale and exhale it out with a sigh. And rest here for these next few moments, integrating the work, resetting and rebalancing our nervous system, and absorbing the peace, the shanti. Ease up on yourself. When you don't know what to do next, ease up on yourself. See how much more you accomplish, how much easier life is, how much more you enjoy life when you aren't forcing yourself. Forcing can turn into fear. Fear that the job won't get done, fear that the natural way things would evolve won't be right, fear that you're not good enough. Learn a different way. Learn the way of love. Relax, sit back, let it go for now. Do something different. Breathe deeply, burn a candle, read a poem, light some sage. If fear is present, send it away. See it, feel it, then allow it to leave. Return to the task in love when it feels natural, right, and on time. Participate naturally, joyfully in creation, whether that's the creation of a relationship, a dinner, a garden, or a meeting. Sometimes it's time to focus, to try hard. Sometimes it's time to ease up. See how much more you get done when you ease up. See how much more playing and laughing and enjoying gets done too. So allow your breath to deepen. Gently rock your head from side to side. Bring movement to fingers and toes. Let me take a big stretch. As you sweep your arms overhead, reaching up through fingers and toes, getting a big stretch through your whole body. Inhale and exhale and release. Maybe sweep your arms by your sides and give the legs another squeeze if you like. And then with either bent or straight legs, you can roll to right side, resting there for just a moment. And then when you're ready, you can use your right elbow and left hand to roll up slowly, coming up to a comfortable seat. As we ground through the sit bones, tone belly, lengthen through crown of head, and draw our hands together at our heart center. If you like, you can bow your head to your heart in gratitude. And then we'll lift our gaze and we'll all seal our voices or seal our practice by joining our voices in a gentle Om. The divine light in me honors the divine light in you. Namaste.